Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Today I have some special guests from Southern Alberta. I actually met them at an Alberta Wildlife Federation Wildlife Awards banquet, where there was a young fella that made his way up onto the stage for some big fish awards. It was a pretty interesting evening. They were there as a family, and I'd like to welcome both Baron and his dad, Baron Stang. How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you, Brad?
Doing
Good.
well, thank you. Baron, that was a pretty interesting evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What did you win awards for that night?
I caught the biggest goldeye, and the biggest sauger of the year.
Yeah, and those were both impressive fish. That sauger was 53.97 centimeters, which is measured pretty precisely, and the goldeye was 48.26 centimeters. So those are both very big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you catch those close to home?
Yeah, we caught them both just on the river here, on the Old Man.
Right. Is that one of your favorite places to fish?
Definitely one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
and the South Saskatchewan.
Right. There's pretty good diversity in the rivers, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rivers are different than fish and lakes. I sometimes I think it's an advantage to have the current and the moving water and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funner on the river because jet boating is also fun too. Just going up the river and getting to the deep holes and catching big fish.
Yeah, it sounds like you know what you're doing when you talk about finding the deep holes and finding fish, because I think the two of them are synonymous when you're trying to catch our fine scaled friends that are in the water.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your fish awards? Have you got them at home?
Oh no, we just put them back in the river.
Oh, the fish.
Right.
Oh, the fish one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just put them back at home.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad to hear you practice catch and release. I'm guessing you catch so many fish that you can eat as many as you want, but it's always good to practice catch and release.
Yeah, but like the walleye here, like the river fish aren't as good as tasting as lake as you wouldn't like catching lake fish.
Right? Are they bigger though, typically?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
I think once you get it figured out where to fish, and obviously you guys have a jet boat.
Yep.
Yep. That makes a big difference. You can get away from the crowds and fish some spots where there's no other anglers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes for some pretty special days. Baron, how did you get into fishing? How did you get started?
Well, just ever since my dad took me out fishing when I was younger, when I was about like 3 or 4 years old.
Yep. Old enough to hold a rod and you were ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Ryan, have you been an angler your whole life?
Pretty well my whole life as well, Brad.
Yeah.
Same thing. I got into it from my grandfather when I was probably Baron's age, and yeah, been doing it ever since.
It's nice to have that type of influence in your life, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, we're fortunate if we live in a family that hunts and fish and they can pass it on. But, we live in Alberta. It's a pretty special place. And if you want to enjoy the outdoors, there's no better time to take up hunting and fishing than like today.
Couldn't agree more.
So do you guys get out as a family once in a while?
Yeah. Yep.
And do you prefer fishing with just dad, or do you like having your little sister Tommy along?
Well, that's kind of a hard question.
Well, I remember Tommy quite well from that night because she was dressed up like a cowgirl and had all of the boots and hat and everything else to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into a big competition on the boat. His little sister kicked his butt a few times this year on the boat. So.
Yep. Incentive to just fish a little bit harder or longer next time?
Yeah.
That's nice. So when do you normally start your angling season?
Well, we kind of fish all season. We start in spring and then go out for like early sturgeon and stuff, and then we fish all the way to winter time for even ice fishing.
Wow. Do you ice fish at all?
Yeah, we ice fish a little bit.
Yep.
Haven't gotten out there yet though.
Yeah. So I think in the springtime though, you start down in some of the big reservoirs in southern Alberta. You go camping for a long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on May, whenever we go down to Chin. Yeah, just it's always good fishing for pike then.
Yep.
There's usually the big ones out.
So is that where you spend most of your weekend? Are you down at the water's edge fishing most of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the boat.
Yeah. You remind me a little bit about me. There's never enough time for fishing, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us how you fish for big pike in the spring.
Well, I usually just hook up, get some smelt, usually use a big pickle rig and cast them out, try to find the deeper water.
Yep. And have you been successful?
I've been successful a couple times. 2 years ago, I caught a decent one. Didn't quite make it to the biggest of the in Alberta.
Right.
But he still was pretty big.
Right. You're pretty modest because your dad tells me that you've caught several fish 20 to 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're a 12-year-old. You've been doing this for, probably anywhere from 8 or 9 years. And you're catching fish bigger than what most adults ever see in their life.
Yeah.
Is there any secrets to catching those big ones?
No secrets. Patience. Oh yeah, lots of patience.
Lots of patience. What about bait? Do you use little baits, big baits?
Well, when we're fishing for pike on May long, big bait, and then little bait and live bait like
Worms.
Yeah, worms. Yeah.
Yep.
And then minnows for walleye.
Oh, nice. So you got them pretty much figured out.
Yep. Got it pretty dialed.
Yeah. And after the May long, you get into the summer months. You start sturgeon fishing in Alberta, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. And how's that go? How have you done? You got two rivers close by, both the Old Man and the South Saskatchewan. How's the fishing?
Oh, it's usually always good. You usually never come home skunked.
Right.
Usually catch the annoying goldeye and the suckers, but hoping to catch the big sturgeon.
And have you ever caught a big one?
Oh yeah. I think 2 or 3 years ago, I caught a 56-inch sturgeon.
Wow.
On the South Saskatchewan.
That's pretty impressive. Now, It sounds like your sister's a bit competitive. Does she ever catch any big ones?
Oh, yeah, she's pretty competitive. She caught a 51-inch last year. I was pretty jealous of that.
It was bigger than the one you caught last year.
Yep.
Yeah. What about walleye? It sounds like walleye are a favorite for your family.
Oh, yeah, walleye. We've gotten a pretty big walleye, 30 inches. Is real big for us, but we've caught a 34-inch on our boat on the river just down here.
34-inch walleye is incredible. That's most people that would be a fish of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. And then you move into fall, you continue to walleye fish. That's your favorite time to get out?
Yeah, that's when the big ones are out.
Yep. And how do you go about targeting a big walleye in the fall?
Mainly just finding deep water. That's,
Yeah.
in the right day.
Don't you find it interesting that those fish can just disappear in the summertime and nobody really knows where they go? And then come late October, they're back in these deep wintering holes and a little susceptible to anglers that know where to look for big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it strange too. I love fishing the Athabasca River late fall. It's probably my favorite of the year, just like you. And we've caught huge walleye, but I still have not figured out where they all go during the summer.
Yeah.
They're pretty elusive.
They are.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
Ryan, what's your favorite thing to fish?
Well, I like the fall walleye fishing myself.
Yep.
You get a good couple 3 weeks in there where you can have some pretty spectacular days on the river.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you've got a jet boat, like again, you can access some pretty unique holes and structure and habitat for fish to really key in on the big ones.
Yeah, you get to places where most of the population can't.
Right. What's your secret for getting your kids out fishing and getting them involved and getting them so interested that, they become your lifelong fishing buddies?
I don't know. It wasn't hard convincing him from when he was 3. Took him out once and he was basically hooked. And and it's been. I don't get to handle the rod as much as I used to for the sturgeon because he's always pretty quick to the rod holder. So.
Yeah, that happens. It's shortly after they start at 3 years old that happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. My girls love fishing with me too, but I usually run the net and bait hooks, and it's like a 3-ring circus in the boat.
Yeah, you get pretty good at that. That's for sure.
But lots of giggles and always lots of smiles.
No, it's definitely good core memories for the kids, and it's just nice to get out and outdoors on the river or on the lakes and just spend some good time together.
Yeah, I think that it's quality. I'll describe it as quality family time because, we get so busy in society, whether we're working or school and different things, that we often don't get a time to go do things together where we're extremely happy and having like the time of our life.
Yeah, and you can't beat the smiles when they're holding a big fish.
Yeah, no doubt. So you haven't fished your whole life either. Grandpa's used to take you out and you used to even head to the coast once a year. Yeah,
I used to go to the coast with my grandparents every year for a couple of weeks and we'd fish along the way along Skeena River. And I got involved with it when I was fairly young and I've enjoyed it ever since. And like I said, it wasn't hard to convince my kids to get involved with it because it's a great way to spend some family time. It
is. It's almost like a gift to a parent that a child will take on hunting or fishing or the outdoors, camping, with a passion that you have.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. So it's very good to hear that your family is so outdoorsy and you find lots of pleasure in doing things in the boat and outdoors and doing things together. And, yeah. Baron, you've taken hunter education.
Yeah, I took my hunter education. I think I took it in April, just before my birthday, and then I could get my license as soon as I turned 12.
Right. And why was that important?
Well, it was just so I can go out hunting and have fun and have the memories.
Right. So when did you know you wanted to be a hunter?
Well, just whenever my dad took me out on hunting trips or gopher hunting, it just inspired me and wanted to do it.
Right. I think your dad told me that he took you out on an antelope hunt when you were quite a bit younger.
Yeah, when I was, I think, 6.
Yep.
My dad took out on the first ever hunting trip for an antelope on the Ross Ranch, and we got successful, and we found an antelope, put a stalk on it, or 4 miles away from about everyone and a truck even, and we got it, and we packed it all the way back.
You know, I think those types of trips are more memorable when you have to work a little bit harder. You know, it wasn't like you drove out there, shot an antelope, went home. You know, it sounds like if you had a 4 mile stalk, you were probably out there for a while. You got to see did you see any other wildlife on the trip?
Yeah, we saw elk, saw a pretty big bull actually.
Yeah.
When we were walking and looking for antelope.
It's always interesting to see what else is out there. You know, you go to look for an antelope and you probably find lots of grouse, maybe even the odd pheasant, some big elk, potentially some mule deer.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all those extra things that we observe and see when we're in the field that make the trip even more memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you finally get some trigger time on your own? Did you live in southern Alberta, so are you a gopher hunter?
Yeah, gopher hunter, coyote hunter.
Yep.
Like to do it all, deer hunter, you know.
Good. And did you passed your hunter ed course? Did you get out at all this fall?
Yeah, I got out this November. Just at the end of November. My dad's buddy got a partner tag.
Yep.
And for a moose, and I got a partner with him, and we seen nothing, but we saw lots of whitetail, but passed on most of them. We saw one good whitetail, and we seen them, and we pushed some bush and never came out.
Ah, so the whitetails were elusive.
Yes, but once it came last day, we finally saw a moose that was shootable.
Oh, wow. Was it a bull or a cow?
Bull.
Yeah. Tell us what happened.
Well, we were just out scouting and looking around, and we got a call saying that there is a bull moose in the area. And my uncle owns some land up in the Camrose area. We got a call from my uncle, and he said that there's a bull, and we looked for it. We went to my uncle's field, and I looked, and I seen this black spot, and thought it was a cow at first until I took a glance at it, and it was actually a bull.
Nice.
And so we set up, took a few shots, but yeah, and they were good shots, and got him.
Nice. So, how far was the shot?
300 yards.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. And what kind of rifle were you shooting? What caliber?
I was actually using my 6.5 Creedmoor size to give him a couple shots.
Yep. No, but it worked well, didn't it?
Yep, got him.
Had you practiced at the range at all?
Yep. We go shooting, just on shoot at some rocks and just do some target practice.
Yep. Yeah, you'd need some trigger time and some practice to make a 300-yard shot. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So did you find out that once the shooting is over, when you're moose hunting, that's when the work really begins?
Yeah, that's right. I guess I didn't really have to do any of the work this year yet.
No?
Yeah, mostly my dad and his buddies too.
Yep. You were probably fortunate enough to drive right up to it.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. And you were close to farm equipment. Did you get any help, or did you just deal with it all in the field?
Yeah, my uncle brought it his tractor. We got some chains, hooked it up, and loaded up and took it back to the farm and skinned her.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of moose hunt, but I have been on very few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, have you shot a few moose over the years?
Yeah, I've shot a few. Kind of similar scenario there too. Just up in that Camrose country, been fairly fortunate with haven't had to do a bunch of grunt work, but we have shot some moose north of Nordegg, where yeah, it's taken a long time to get them out, quartering them out. And,
Yep, the old-fashioned way.
yeah.
Yeah, those farmland moose are pretty special. We actually, I think our harvest rates are higher in the farmland and the parkland areas now than they are in the boreal forest. So it's changed the way we look at moose and how we hunt them, and how much easier they are to deal with if you're in the right spot.
Well, they're big critters too, right? And,
they really are.
I know 30 years ago, there really wasn't a bunch of moose in that country, and now you get to see more and more of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're kind of blessed that way in Alberta. We've got very sound wildlife populations, and even our elk populations have grown. We have lots of late season cow opportunities where we never used to in the past, and I think anyone that is interested in hunting moose or elk, there's lots of opportunity to get out and try it somewhere.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So, who did all the work on the moose?
Well, I helped out a little bit, but
Yep.
mostly my dad and them.
And you help skin it and quarter it?
Yeah, I gotta help. I gotta help skin it and everything.
Yep.
Get the hide off and everything, and yeah.
And you guys butcher your own meat, or did you take it in?
We took it in
Yeah.
just to the butcher shop in Coldale, right? Yeah.
Yep. And what? I'm guessing that you've eaten some of it by now.
Yeah.
And how is it?
It's good, really good.
Yeah.
We made hamburgers out of it, right?
Your mom made a pretty nice roast in the air fryer.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, nice. Air fryer roast. That's a very new and unique way of doing it, but it turns out very good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but yeah, it turned out really good.
Yeah, nice and crisp on the outside and medium rare on the inside.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information to gain insight and knowledge. Head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
You going to start putting in for the draws yourself, or hope that there's more partner licenses out there somewhere?
Oh, well, I've already started putting in.
Oh, that's good. What other species would you like to hunt?
Well, I'd love, once I get a little bit older, get out on a sheep hunt.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome, and go to Africa even.
Yes, Africa is often a dream for hunters that want to dream big and go experience new things. It's a very interesting place to go to. We just recently had Ken Bailey on Harvest Your Own, and he talked about his travels around the world and his love of Africa as well. So it's interesting.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. You haven't done a whole lot of bird hunting though, have you?
No, I haven't gone to the bird hunting yet.
Yep. Any desire to do that?
Well, I have shot a couple clays, just practice with the shotgun, but I not really have had too much desire in bird hunting.
Do you think it's desire, or that you haven't had the opportunity to experience it yet?
Well, I've experienced it.
Yep.
Went out on some goose hunts, and yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, good. That's up at the family farm again, up in the Camrose area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. And you live in southern Alberta. You must see the odd pheasant and Hungarian partridge around?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, quite a bit, yeah.
Yep. So what are your goals for fishing and hunting as we head into next year?
Well, once I get a little bit stronger and bigger, I'd love to go out on the Fraser and catch a nice big white sturgeon.
Wow. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other species in Alberta you'd like to catch?
No, not really. I can think of. I've caught lots of the species in Alberta.
Yeah. Have you fished for all the trout, the rainbows, the tiger trout, the browns, brookies?
I've tried, yeah. I've almost caught a couple nice rainbow trout actually on Police Lake there.
Oh, nice.
Actually, it was in my kayak, and I went out on the lake, and I had one come right up to my kayak, and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
And yeah, get them on the hook.
Yep. Ryan, what's the secret? You actually must have some secrets because your kids love being outdoors with you. What's the secret to keep them interested and enthused and not wanting to go home an hour after you get out there?
Lots of snacks. No. I don't know. Just, give them different experiences, try different things out, take them to different places. I don't know what the secret really is. I guess I've just been lucky with my two kids because they sure enjoy the outdoors and fishing and hunting. So just keep it interesting, I guess.
Yeah, all the right reasons. I have other people have told me, well, when we take the kids, we like to take an iPad or a phone, and I refuse to do that myself because I think that there's so much to see and do. I don't want to take away from that or distract it or have something else become more important.
Couldn't agree with you more, Brad.
Yeah, so you don't take any electronics on the boat. I think snacks are good because I've got like long-term hunting buddies. I think they come with me mostly for the snacks.
Yeah, well, if you don't pack snacks, yeah, it turns into a short day. But
yeah. And you obviously must have some pretty good techniques that you've passed on for catching big fish.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we're just lucky, but I mean, we have spent time on the river and a lot of time scouting, and we've been fortunate enough to find some pretty good holes and been successful in them.
Yeah, and get to go back and visit them often.
Yeah. That's right.
So how do you make time for family fishing? Like I hear so many people say, we just don't have time to go.
Well, I mean, when it comes to fall fishing, I usually try to take some time off work, and I always make time, save some holidays for hunting and whatnot, because I do feel it's pretty important, and it's something great to do together with the family. So you just got to make the time and go do it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that if it's important, you make it the priority.
That's correct.
Yeah. Because it has way more rewards than going to work.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Anything else you could offer for information to encourage other families to take their kids out and get out hunting and fishing or shooting or just enjoying the outdoors?
Just get out and do it. And just, yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, that's just it, Brad. I mean, because, you go fishing for the day, but there's a lot more that comes along with it than just the fishing portion of it. You're just, whether you're seeing, when we go out on the jet boat, just the tour up the river is nice. You typically see lots of game and see different things, eagles, and just get to get out in nature.
Yeah, it sure is. I love jet boating the rivers up here. I haven't done the ones in the south for a long time. I had fished sturgeon on the South Saskatchewan years ago at night, and I was pretty intrigued by the number of bats that we saw. Like the number of bats at night on the river were just like they were clouds of them.
Yeah, there is a lot of bats down here.
Yeah. Help control the insects.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep the mosquitoes away.
Yeah, but you never know what you're going to see. I mean, mule deer, fawns, whitetails, elk, all kinds of different birds, and things like bats make a trip very interesting. Yeah,
it's not just about the fishing. It's just getting out and experiencing it. And
yep.
Whether you stop on the shore and go for a walk, and you always find something that's interesting.
So one thing I like to ask the guests on Harvest Your Own, what's your favorite fish or wild game meal for a family?
Moose is one of the best, I think, to go out and hunt. It's just lots of experience. And
that's your favorite meal?
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I think I'd have to, usually about once a year we have a walleye fry.
Yep.
probably my favorite.
I don't think I could go a year without eating walleye. Yeah.
It is pretty tasty.
Yeah, they were made for the frying pan. But, it sounds like you guys have a great family. You enjoy the outdoors, you respect the outdoors and each other, and get out often. So I give you kudos. Not enough people do that. And Baron, I hope to see you again at another Alberta Wildlife Federation awards dinner, where you can pick up some awards, or perhaps your dad will, or even your younger sister.
Yeah.
Keep fishing and hunting and have fun with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, Brad. Sure appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate your time. We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started, or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.